Hi, this is Dwayne, your headless piano teacher again, and today we'd like to talk about minor chords. Minor chords, as you know, sound like that, in contrast to major chords, which sound like that. If major chords sound happy or normal, then minor chords sound more serious. Some people call them sad, but at least they're more somber, they're serious in sound, okay? The formula for a minor chord is simply to lower the third of a major chord. Last week we talked about major chords and how they're built out of the root, third, and fifth of a major scale. So if we have a major scale like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we take the root, third, and fifth and play them together, and that's a major triad or a major chord. So all we need to do is lower the third. That's the third. 1, 2, 3. That's the third. Lower it a half step. Lower, of course, means to the left, so we play E flat instead of E on the C chord. On F, we would lower A to A flat. On G, we'd lower B to B flat. On D major, we'd lower F sharp to F natural. So you see D minor is all white, isn't it? E minor then would be all white too, because in its major state it has a black third, but now it's all white. Same with A major. A minor. You lower the third half step and you get a chord that's all white. So there's three minor chords that are all white. Remember, there was three major chords that were all white. What were they? C, F, and G. Now there's three minor chords that are all white. D minor, E minor, and A minor. Okay, let's continue through the major chords, making them minor. That's the D flat major chord. How do we flat a white key? Well, just like we do a black key, we move it a half step to the left. So this note is known as F flat. I know it looks like E, but if you wrote it on paper, you'd have to write F flat if you were going to write the D flat minor chord. Okay? E flat minor, you'd move G to G flat. A flat minor, you'd move C to C flat. Looks like B, but it's called C flat. The G flat major chord is all black, as you know. So to flat a flat, we just go a half step to the left, and that note, which looks like A, we'd have to call B double flat, because you see it's already flat, isn't it? So we just have to double flat it. And then B minor, we lower D to D natural, and B flat minor chord, we'd lower D to D flat. So let me quickly go through the major and minor chords now. There's 12 major chords and there's 12 minor chords. So here they are. C major, C minor, F major, F minor, G major, G minor, D major, D minor, E major, E minor, A major, A minor, D flat major, D flat minor, E flat major, E flat minor, A flat major, A flat minor, G flat major, G flat minor, B major, B minor, B flat major, B flat minor. Now, how do we use them? Well, that's not the subject of the short little video. We're just talking about minor chords here. But you know that minor chords can be used in lots of songs, from classical to sacred to pop. Here's a classical song with an A minor chord in it. I say it has an A minor chord because all those notes, C, E, and A, are all members of the A minor chord. Okay? Do you know this tune? In sacred music, do you know the song? How about this Christmas carol? based on minor chords, aren't they? In fact, they're all based on A minor. Every song that I just played was built around the A minor triad. So do your homework, learn your chords really well, and they'll pay off down the road in piano playing. Thanks for being with me again, and we'll see you shortly for another short little video like this by your headless piano teacher. So see you then. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Dwayne again, and I'd like to tell you about a little book that I wrote a few years back. It's called Piano Chords and Chord Progressions, The Secret Backdoor to Exciting Piano Playing. And it's a terrific resource about chords. If you want to know more about chords, you ought to latch onto this book. It's just barely over 10 bucks, 11 bucks I think it is. And it covers all the chords and chord progressions that I talk about in my videos. It's just a great, it's not a substitute for videos, of course, but or DVDs, but it's a great summary, and it's so inexpensive that it's well worth your while to get. Here's a table of contents. You can just look down here and see all the things it covers. Starts out with major, minor, diminished, augmented, 6th, 7th, and on to 13th chords and suspensions and alterations, and then gets on to chord progressions and so on. So it's a very thorough book, and it's got a lot of illustrations. I'll just toggle through a little bit, so you can, and there's the back cover. So it's worth your while to get. So hope you take advantage of that. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.